Okay. Well, welcome everybody. We're just waiting for everybody to get admitted in here. So we'll start in a few minutes. Okay. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, well, it's 5 after. We'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the NAHMMA monthly webinar series. This is our December webinar, and this one is covering the 2023 National Conference recap and a little bit of a year in review for NAHMMA. So I just want to welcome everyone for being here today, and thank you for participating in this month's webinar. We'll open up for questions near the end. So we'll go ahead and just kind of jump right into the presentation here. And hopefully everyone can see my screen. If you're not able to for some reason, just drop that in the chat. But I'll just go ahead and do a quick introduction. So I'm Ken Miller. I'm the current NAHMMA board president and serve as the chair of the communications committee for NAHMMA. And then in my regular day-to-day job, I'm the solid waste agency administrator for the Dubuque metropolitan area solid waste agency. It'd be a position similar to like agency director or whatnot. You know, everyone uses a little bit different title for it, but kind of what I do for our solid waste agency. So we have both we have a landfill, and then we have HHM electronics recycling drop-off area and processing area. We have and then diversion activities for compost, appliances, metal, tires, you name it. If we can try to divert it out, we've probably got a diversion stream for it if there's a local source that'll take it. So that's what I do for the day-to-day part of my job. So just kind of jumping right into the conference recap then. We just kind of want to give a recap of this year's conference that was in Tempe, Arizona back in September. So if you weren't able to attend, you can get a little bit of idea of what we did there. And if you were, you may see yourself in some of the pictures. No guarantees that you won't be there. So of course, the goal of the conference and the goal and NAHMMA's mission is to network, train, and transform. So we want to provide members with those opportunities to do those those three things, sorry, that can help them in both their in their career and develop professionally in their career. So the NAHMMA conference every year kicks off with several training opportunities. Typically, the trainings some of them start on Sunday of the week of the conference. So the conference itself will kick off on Tuesday with the keynote speaker, but traditionally several of the trainings are offered already on Sunday to allow attendees to get those trainings completed and out of the way so they can also attend the bulk of the conference programming. So this year, for training opportunities, we had attendees had the opportunity to train on identification of unknowns, chemistry for non-chemists, DOT hazardous materials, disaster debris management for HHW managers, explosives and highly reactive chemicals. There was an 8-hour HAZWOPER refresher offered, along with the 24-hour HAZWOPER course, and then the HHW collection facilities best practices training opportunity was also offered. Then, kind of branching there right away into our next part for the networking opportunities. So there was a membership mixer. And so these pictures here are from several of the events listed here. We had the membership mixer that occurred on Monday evening and it was in the courtyard of the hotel complex we were at there at the Tempe Mission Palms. So it's a good chance for members to just meet up, engage with other members that they maybe hadn't seen since the previous year's conference, also hang out with, of course, people from their local chapter while they're there, and just kind of intermingle with other members, vendors that are there at the conference, and just engage in that manner. That membership mixer, like I said, it was on Monday night. On Wednesday, we followed up with the mentor matchup. So if you were in attendance at the conference or if you weren't, the way that worked, it was kind of like a chance for networking mentor speed dating, so to speak. So when everyone arrived at the venue on Wednesday morning, came down to the main hall, they were given a number for a table number, a table assignment. And then the way that event kind of worked was everyone had a chance to eat a little bit of breakfast, and then we kicked off with where we had posted questions up on the video screens there. And then that was the topic for your table for that 7-minute period. At the end of 7 minutes, we would have everyone get up and switch tables. And so then you'd have another question, another 7 minutes, chance to discuss that with the people at your table. Boom, 7 minutes are up, rotate again, and so on and so forth. We did keep at least one person stationary at every single table, and those were the board members in attendance and a few select other people to kind of help be the conversation starter at those tables. That event went very well. We received a lot of positive feedback about that, and it will be an event that we plan to continue to offer at the conference next year for sure. It just went over so well. A lot of buzz at the conference about that and how much people really enjoyed a chance to network and kind of like musical chairs in a way. You were trying to find a chair that was available if you took a little too long, and then you were getting a chance to meet everyone else that was at the table and just learn some new faces that then you were able to carry through for the rest of the conference. In between sessions, waiting for a session to start, you were able to connect with those people that you had met during that event. So very successful there. And then that afternoon we had the annual NAHMMA Olympics. So you can see I got a couple pictures here of the course that was set up outside the hotel. Barrel racing, PPE. You have to put on PPE and do a bunch of different things. You'll put on PPE where one person's trying to help you put it on. You can't use your hands. Just a really fun event. Gives everyone a chance to kind of, even if you're not a participant in the Olympics, you're there to cheer everyone on and network with everyone that's at the event. And then there are medals given away for the teams that perform best. We have gold, silver, and bronze. Got a good picture here of our gold medal winning team. And the medals themselves are bungs from drums that are painted to, of course, be silver, gold, or bronze. And then after the Olympics kind of was our closing event on Wednesday, and for the Wednesday portion of the conference, sorry. And then on Thursday, we had the Goldfield Tour and dinner. So we went, it was an offsite kind of excursion, membership excursion. Everyone loaded on buses to get out there. We had a nice meal while we're out there, out on the deck outside the main event space there. Everyone gets a chance, of course, then once again to mingle and connect with other members that are there. And then throughout the conference, there were different tours and or like facilities that you engaged with as for the trainings. You can see a picture here on the lower right-hand corner of the group that did the facility tours on the Monday of the conference. This is at the Tempe facility. So we had a chance to get a nice group photo there. That tour group toured 3 HHM facilities in the metro area, the Phoenix metro area out there. So we toured Tempe, Mesa, and the town of Gilbert, and had lunch together as a group. It was, I would say, a very successful day. A lot of people, that's where they first start to meet up with people they've seen at other conferences, and that, of course, carries over to that membership mixer later that evening. And then, of course, want to hit on the other pillar of transform that NAHMMA has. And so one of the ways, that we kind of kick off and do this at the conference is, of course, the keynote speeches. This year, we had the advantage of both having a main keynote and a mini keynote. So our main keynote was paving the way for EPR for all HHW. And that keynote speaker was Heidi Sanborn from the National Stewardship Action Council. Very inspiring keynote this year, and really with that focus on how can we start moving to EPR for all of HHW, come up with a system that hopefully takes the financial burden off the HHW collection facilities and returns that to the manufacturers to help absorb the cost of managing those products end of life. And then our mini keynote was on working together for people in wildlife, and that went very well also. A lot of positive feedback about both keynote speeches this year. And so there's a good challenge for the next conference to follow that up. And then, of course, at every conference, we have awards presentation. So, facilities can be nominated for awards. If you go to the NAHMMA webpage and go to community, you'll find the awards nomination form there. You can submit those awards throughout the year, and then those awards are handed out during the conference. So we had a lot of very innovative and well thought out programs that were nominated this year. And we were happy to hand out those awards to those in attendance at this, or those at this awards at this year's conference. Sorry. And so just overall, it's a fun and engaging event. You get a chance to learn from your peers, make connections, and utilize those connections as you want to make changes or modifications to either your operations plan or your facility. Just a lot of great resources there at the conference. So for some reason, my slides are having a mind of their own for a second. So that's kind of a recap of our 2023 conference. We're hoping to see everyone in Austin this year in 2024, and that will be from September 22nd through the 27th down in Austin, Texas. And that Gulf Coast chapter will be hosting that event, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody there. Like I said, it's a great chance to network, train, and transform. So with that, we kind of close out the conference recap portion of this presentation. And then we'll just do a little bit of a year-end review for NAHMMA. And so just some of the big changes that you may have seen occurring this year. We did complete the process of chapter realignment. So all, to reflect our name, the North American Hazardous Materials Management Association, we went through a process of chapter realignment to make sure that the communities in North America were covered by a chapter. Before, we kind of had a piecemeal system of chapters where some chapters were multi-state, some were single state. There were people who lived in a province in Canada who didn't have a chapter, or lived in a state that didn't have a chapter in the United States. And so we really wanted to ensure that everyone had access to both chapter level resources and the association's resources. And so we went through that process of chapter realignment. There were some logos that needed to be redesigned, chapter names that needed to be changed so that the chapter name aligned with the region that they were in, more so than just if they were a single state chapter before. And then we finalized that process over the summer, and we're able to get the updated chapter map out there. And this map, of course, shows what chapter you're located in. If you go to the chapters page on the website, you can find this as the first page on there that says our chapters, and then you can find your chapter specific pages there. And all NAHMMA members now are both a member of a chapter and the association. One of the other things we had going on throughout the year is the NAHMMA Corner article series. So in Waste Advantage magazine, you'll find the NAHMMA Corner every month. And those articles this past year covered a wide range of topics. You can see, I just grabbed a couple screenshots here of articles. One was kind of the annual conference preview article, then of course a conference recap, an article on networking in a post-pandemic world, and then there were just several other articles throughout the year. We are working and hoping for 2024 to kind of pair that corner series with the monthly webinars. And so you'll start seeing that in January of 2024, where the article and the webinar line up with each other, and a good kind of lead in from the article onto what will be discussed during the webinar that month. So some exciting changes there also in 2024, but it's been a great partnership with Waste Advantage magazine. It's great exposure for NAHMMA. And so it's been a very, I would say, successful partnership with them. And then of course, we have our monthly webinars and NAHMMA Connect events. And so the third Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Mountain Time is when we do these webinars every month. And then on the second Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Mountain Time is when we have the NAHMMA Connect. And if you haven't been to a NAHMMA Connect before, that's just a virtual networking opportunity that we offer every month. And we kind of have a format for those in that we do them like on a quarterly rotating schedule. So the first month of every quarter, we kind of cover any items that are start out the Connect with any items that are occurring at the association's level, any information that we want to share out about what's going on at the association level, then kind of open it up for questions about that, and then just a general forum. The second month of every quarter, we do kind of a roundup of what's going on in the different chapters. So we kind of have someone from each chapter that's on explain kind of what's going on in their chapter at the present time. And then, of course, there's opportunities for questions as each person is explaining something their chapter is doing. Inevitably, somebody has a question, wants to know how they're doing that or how they can replicate that in their chapter, what resources are available, etc. And then that also becomes kind of an open forum at the end of that as time allows. And then the third month of every quarter is just a general open forum. And so it allows everyone gets on the call. We go through, do some introductions, and then, it's kind of an open forum. Ask questions you have. If you're about to go out for bid for a disposal contractor, gives you a chance to ask questions, see if anybody has recently completed an RFP for that, ask what people are seeing for pricing as it comes back in, just different, any question you have, you can ask in kind of that general open forum once a month. And so those NAHMMA Connects are a great way to virtually hang out and meet up throughout the year. And then we did have our board elections again this year. So an NAHMMA board has 15 members each year. At least five of those seats are up for re-election. Occasionally there might be one more if someone resigned or we had an opening during the year. But this year, we had 5 seats open, like I said. 3 board members were reelected. That'd be myself, Richard Avila, and Jeff Gloyd. And then we're happy to welcome Justin Avashan and Carmelita Nichols as new board members this year. So they're both entering their first term on the board of directors, and they'll start here in January. And then once that board election process has wrapped up, then the board goes through and elects an executive committee for the board of directors. And this year, similar to what we saw for the national board election, so there are five positions on the executive committee. 3 members, myself, Richard Lubinsky, and Jeff Gloyd, were reelected to our positions on the executive committee. And we're happy to welcome Catherine Eichner as our incoming vice president and Jordan Wells as our incoming secretary. Both will start those positions on the executive committee in January. And we just want to thank Matt Stevens and Julie Mitchell, our outgoing secretary and vice president, for their service on the executive committee. They've, been a great asset to me in my first year as the president of NAHMMA. And as we've gone through some of those transitional items like chapter realignment, a great resource. And so we want to thank them for their time on the executive committee. And they will both be continuing on the board of directors as regular board of directors members. So we're not letting them go very far. And then that's kind of where we're at and what we accomplished in 2023. So I want to thank everyone for allowing us to kind of cover and recap our 2023 events. There's a QR code up there on the screen right now. If you want to connect on LinkedIn, you can scan that and connect with me on there, or my contact information there. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions you don't want to answer in this forum. Otherwise, we will go ahead and open this up for questions. So you can feel free to put them in the chat, or I'm going to just see if there's a way to easily allow all people to be able to unmute themselves. So okay. So I think I've been able to give everybody the opportunity. Instead of having to put your questions in the chat, you can feel free to unmute and fire away. Quiet group.
Ken?
Yes, David.
It's David Tavares. Hey, Ken, I just want to say I thought overall the process of setting up and doing an event like this for NAHMMA was really educating to myself and those in the Southwest chapter. So I'm glad that we were able to come up and produce and pull everything together by the end of it. But I just want to say, without the support of the board, the current board, the past board, and giving us guidance, we wouldn't have been able to do it that easy. So for those in Austin, reach out. There's going to be some of us in the Southwest chapter that are still going to participate because it's still fresh in our minds. And just want to say that couldn't have pulled the event off without everybody's help, that's for sure.
Well, thank you, David. And we couldn't have pulled it off without the Southwest chapter support. So thank you for helping lead that effort and from the local level. Do we have anybody else that has questions, wants to share some thoughts? Okay, well, seeing as there's no questions or anything, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up a little bit early. Just want to wish everyone a happy holidays, and we hope to see you at both the virtual and in-person events in 2024. So thank you, everybody.